Good evening, Internet, and welcome to Top Shift 129 and Update 7. Now, this is the latest update from Elite Dangerous. At this moment in time, it means that there are a few extra additions, such as, well, you can see around here the slave station, the concourse is a little bit different from how it was before. There are more plants about, because it's an agricultural station. Wonderful little bit of, well, it looks like a Stargate, to be honest, doesn't it? Anyway, you'll find that most of the stations now have been modified so they look a bit different. Also, depending on how rich they are, is how messy they are. So if you're in a pretty rich station, then it'll be nice and clean. If it's in a poor station,
See you, Commander.
Hello, pleased to meet you. If it's in a poor station, you will end up with it dirt everywhere. So, we're going to have a quick look about and see what can be done. The other two major additions to this is in the conflict zones. The conflict zones have anti-ship turrets now, and also enforcer troops, which are rocket launcher troops, which go after players who are turning up in SRVs. I've had a couple of plays with them, and to tell you the truth, they really do make a difference. Unless you have friends on the ground willing to take out those turrets for you, there is no way your ship is going to last long, regardless of what ship it is. Now, I apologise for this. I'm back in the Orange Sidewinder for the moment. Now, as far as the performance of this goes, it's reasonable. There's been, I think, a couple of minor improvements, but as I keep on saying, this is all on low settings on a system that kicks Horizons back, that can run Horizons at ultra. I'm having to run it at low. That's a little bit of a disappointment. From what I understand, Update 8 is where things are going to go. Or they're confident about improvements to the engine. Now, the main issue I have here is, it's now 6 months down the line, and yeah. I think it's only now getting into the state where it should have been as release. So we've got some combat, we've got some transportation, we've got some procurement, we've got some salvage. No support, you'll notice. Actually, that's one thing that they said they were going to do, is that my favourite mission, the support mission, that was getting used up too quickly. There were that many players doing the support mission that the way that the background simulation went was that they ran out of support missions. It's quite complicated, but they've gone and made some modifications apparently, so that right, those, we'll get a super capacitor from Leasty, I think. Yeah, that seems all right. So this is quite simply one of the salvage missions. I don't think I've done this one online before. I'll have to look it up. The main reason I like these ones is because it involves the ship as well. So yeah, we're going to do this one mission while discussing what's coming in Update 8, because the development update happened, and the things for Update 8 actually seem to be quite exciting. We have obviously 4-ship multi-crew, which is good. We've got concourses coming on the on the mega ships, which everybody thought was a good idea. However, there's not that many mega ships I think you can land at, and they don't mean the medical frigates either, which is a bit of a shame. But the main news was gestures. This was one of the most requested features when you saw people walking around the concourse. That if you do see another player, all you can do is really sort of crouch at them, take the knee if you like. And people were saying that they wanted to be able to nod, wave, and that kind of thing. It's just like every other MMO. And well, that's coming in Update 8, which I think's, although it's not amazingly important gameplay-wise, I think socially-wise it was needed. I mean, I'm still getting the hang of the chat system in the game, but it's getting there. I mean, the one thing that they did say was that performance increases were coming as well, and they were quite confident that those performance increases were going to. I'm hesitant to say the word "be significant" because we've all been there before.
You have left a no-file zone. Have a safe trip, Commander. Charging.
Right. So I mean that's good to know. So Update 8 is. I hesitant to say it. I got this feeling that Update 8 was really where it should have been when it launched. But we'll just have to see how things go. Right, where are there we are, least the F4, so we'll lock on at least the F4. Oh, that's a long way to go. I mean, there are other things coming in Update 8. Obviously, there is more engineers coming to Colonia, and Horizon's cosmetics in Odyssey, they claim to have completely fixed. So that means things like my flight suit, like for instance down here, if I go to loadouts, you see my Wanderer flight suit. Oh, hang on. Manage loadouts. This is my Wanderer flight suit. This is how they manage the Horizon stuff. If you have a flight suit, you can put your Horizon stuff in front of the flight. Look at that. You've still got the lines. You've got the Horizon's flight suit over the top. Well, of the Horizon's goodies go over the top of your flight suit and nothing else. Which is but now they say that they've sorted out a lot of the graphical issues with the Horizon stuff, which I'm quite happy about. One thing I should do, put it back to that when we arrive, because if there are any bad guys there, I need to be able to fight them. Because the flight suit, just a word of warning, flight suit's rubbish when it comes to fighting. So yeah, we've got those cosmetics are coming in. One of the things I am really excited about is they're now adding sort of in-space mission twists or mission wrinkles to the on-foot missions. So this should make things a little bit more integrated. So things like this, like at this point, I could expect hostile agents attempting to intercept me while I'm doing this en route or flying back to the station. Contacts, you can, in order to find pirates, you can find contacts at bases, and NPCs on-foot NPCs can attempt to use shuttles to get away. So does that mean that as soon as they get in a shuttle, that's they've escaped, or can you pursue the shuttle in a ship to shoot it down? All of those kind of things are badly needed to make the game feel more integrated, and I'm really looking forward to those. Obviously, I'll be going over them. However, one big ones that I'm looking forward to as well is the 4-player multi-crew. Now, It's always been a bit weird that multi-crew has had a maximum of 3 people, yet the most people you can have in a wing is 4. So there's always been that kind of disconnect. Now, what they haven't told us is what that 4th crew member is going to be able to do. Obviously, I mean, I'm hoping that they're going to allow multiple gunners, or, you know, an extra pip in weapons and all the usual stuff that comes with it, but we'll just have to wait and see, because they haven't gone into it with that much detail. What they have said is that it's the Anaconda, the Beluga Liner, the Federal Corvette, the Imperial Cutter, the Type 9, Type 10, and the Alliance Crusader. Now, the Alliance Crusader, I didn't think it was that big, that you had that kind of... that thing. And I've just seen my impact site. It's a threat too. Now that normally means trouble. And it's also... is it going to be on the dark side? Now there still is some controversy about the balance between the game. Between, you know, things like the on-ship weapons and the on-foot weapons. This is... you'll be able to see that as I fly by. Because if there are some enemies, then yeah, we're going to see that here. I mean, must admit, since the new planet rendering tech has gone in, there has been improvements to the planet's surfaces, which is really nice. And for those of you that've been following the Colon to Colonia thing, you'll have seen some fantastic atmospheric planets, even on the low settings, which is always nice. So that was update 8, and then they dropped the 3 big things about update 9 and beyond. Now, they haven't actually said which development update these items are coming in. I mean, we have number 1, a twin-seated combat SRV. Now, it's ever since Horizons first came out, people have been yelling, we'd like more SRVs. Well, this is the first SRV there is, and it looks like it's a tank, and also because it's twin-seated, that says multi-crew. So it'll be interesting to... they're going to do a deep dive into it, obviously with it being the first big new SRV. They're going to go into a lot of information about it. So expect more interesting things to come from there. There are further mission additions and improvements, so there'll be more missions integrations happening, which is a good sign. They haven't gone into any details about that. And finally, and this is a big one the most requested features, is that people with fleet carriers will have their own interiors they can walk around. Now, they haven't gone into any more information. They don't know whether or not you'll have the same facilities you have around the concourse. I suspect you've got to buy them if they do. Oh, hello, they've got a ship here. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Sometimes you have an... oh, he's gone. Oh no, he's still there, he's just out of range. And technically, if there's a ship there... where was I? Oh yes, fleet carriers. Yes, and of course, one of the things that everybody really wants to see is a hyperspace jump from inside a fleet carrier. I think me and Crash have both come to the conclusion that what will happen is you go to hyperspace and these shutters will come down so they don't have to do any animation work. Although I'd be nice to be proven wrong. So between update 8 and update 9 and the fingers crossed performance improvements that come with it, we could actually... there's a lot of people who are beginning to feel a lot more confident about where Elite Dangerous is going. And it's pretty fair to say. Right, we're going to fly over here and see if there's any bad guys. It's not. That's good, but I hate to say I'm worried about that ship that's flying about. There is one problem with Update 7, and for those of you following the Colon to Colonia thing, you'll know what it is, and that is that some ships are, how shall I put it, they hover about 100 meters above the ground when they've landed, including the Clipper. So that makes using the SRV really difficult, because although you can still board the ship... Oh, this is interesting, because this means I'll be able to get manufacturing things here as well. So there's the maintenance panel, and there's the download panel, right. Download data. Oh, it doesn't have
Downloading data.
well, that'll come in useful for the engineers anyway. Which is one thing that I've got to start doing. One of the reasons that I'm probably still enjoying it is because I'm not doing the engineering. Apparently, the engineering grind a lot of people have complained about. Right. So this is quite easy. We just... Off that comes.
Mission status updated.
Right, well I was worried that the ASP Scout, normally if it's threat 2, then normally there are people walking about and you have to deal with them. Or that ASP Scout would come in and drop some people. But that hasn't happened on this occasion, which, I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I was hoping for a bit of a gunfight. But this is your typical salvage run, I guess. So, technically, easy money. So, back to Lave. So, at the moment, my exploration is a little bit curtailed because even though I've actually found a system with tons of biologicals in, what I'm having to do is I'm having to drive around in my SUV to look for biologicals, which is, you know, business as usual. But then I have to flip out to the original Elite Dangerous so that my SRV is back in its ship after I've finished, because lining up to the SRV bay when your ship is 100 meters up is actually really difficult. It's very frustrating, so it's quicker to get everything you need to get done on the system surface, flip back to the Elite Dangerous version, original Elite Dangerous version, and then back to Odyssey, and then I'm back in my ship with my SRV. It's a workaround. It's not a workaround I particularly like, and I've highlighted it as an issue, so we'll just have to wait and see if Frontier do anything about it. You can actually tell that there's been a positive reaction to what's been said about Update 8, is that people have started playing Elite Dangerous again for the first time in about since Odyssey launched. More people are playing it this week than the week before, according to Steam charts. So, and some of the reviews on Steam have gone from -31 to -39, so it's an improvement.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
It all comes down to the question of, once the performance issues are out of the way, is there enough gameplay in there to keep me going? And as I've discovered, there is. However, it's how, with everything with Elite, it's how you approach that gameplay. There's been a complaint about the way Elite people who want to turn it into a theme park when it's really always has been a sandbox. So I'm going to sign this one in. What else has been happening? Let's see. Usual late radio shenanigans. If you want to tune into that on a Tuesday night, that's appreciated. And of course, I will be carrying on with the Colonia stuff, starting every Sunday night and Thursday night at 11 o'clock. So I hope to see you then. As you can see, the thing is, there is still a lot of complaints about the performance, but when you are still flying in space, the base game is pretty much unchanged. I think the issue that I have is I really do wish I could have two different graphical settings. One where I could put the graphical settings up to maximum as I could for flying around in space when the frame rate is absolutely fantastic, but then switch it to on foot for graphical settings for on foot for lower stuff. But I suppose that's a suggestion, because I am one of the things that I am a little bit disappointed about is the fact when you do compare the how Elite looks in Horizons and how how it looks in Odyssey, because I've got to put the models down. Take the example there, because I've got to reduce the quality textures in order to get the high frame rate, or an acceptable frame rate rather, it doesn't look anywhere as near as nice as it is in Horizons.
Request approved. Set down on landing pad 27.
I mean, I know it's time of the sign of the times. Everybody moves along. It's 6 years since Horizons came out, so technology moves on, and as does graphics things. But this rig that I use, it absolutely kills it in Horizons, and I can play in VR Horizons. I can't play VR in Odyssey because the frame rate is so bad, which is a shame. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see what update 8 brings us. I mean, as you can see here, the actual frame rate itself is absolutely fine. When this was first released, this was all over the place. I was looking to get a frame rate of 15, 16 sometimes. It's smooth. But as I said, it is still a bit of a shock compared to how smooth this is. Now, I could actually go onto the concourse and get my mission reward, but one of the things that they have added is if I go to mission board here, you can actually hand in any missions from your from the on-foot concourse right here. What's patrol units? No idea what patrol units are. I'll take that. So that's it for another top shift. The next top shift will be back using update 6, and it'll be me flying the adder. I do apologise. And it will be settlement raids. So I hope you enjoy that. And thanks for sticking with me. Give us a like and subscribe as usual. If you are enjoying this content, and I will see everyone on Live Radio next every Tuesday at 8:30. So good night.